certificate and put you back in the workforce. So they made me sign off saying, they'd pay for my tuition at a JC for the first year, and then give me some living money. And but at the end of that, it'd be on my own, because basically they can't, for a 4-year degree or whatever, they can't basically afford to say that they're responsible for that, because you only had so much money allotted to you for that. Anyways, so signed off, started college. First classes I took in JC was chemistry and biology, introductory courses, and then I fucking went to a staffing agency that specialized in science related jobs, and they found me a job starting off in glassware washing, all the lab glass where that scientists use in the lab. Someone need to wash it, basically just a dishwasher. And I went in there. I think I was making like $12 an hour doing that. Started there, and staff scientists basically knew I was going to school for microbiology or biochem or whatever. So she took me under her wing, and soon after that, like, I started working in the lab. And then I think I was only there like maybe a month before they ended up hiring someone else to do the glassware, and then I moved on to do more of the lab technician work, to work on instruments like DNA sequencing and microbiology on the bench. And that's where I first got my first break off from washing glassware. And then I just, basically I used every job after that as a stepping stone to gain more experience, to gain more knowledge, to gain more, and at the same time I was going to school. And once I paid for everything for JC up until I couldn't go to JC anymore. I had to go on to, 4-year college, because I needed my courses for the higher level courses that applied to my major. And so I ended up finding a college that fit my schedule and that would allow me to get a degree in a related field. But by the time I got to that point, I was already working as a scientist and a chemist for many years, and I'd already had a lot of experience and a lot of references, because I always had to prove myself. Every job I took, I had to prove myself, and most of them I started as a temp, and then they'd hire me permanent. And I would work so hard that there was a few jobs that actually bought me out early out of my contracts, out of my temp contracts, to hire me out permanently. I remember one even hired me on. They cashed out my contract for the temp agency, and they even gave me a hiring bonus, and everything. It was fucking amazing, right? And but that was my thing. Like, I always worked my ass off, and plus, I'm not your stereotypical fucking scientist. Like, I don't look like a scientist. I don't look like I'm intelligent. I looked a certain way, and even back then, for the longest time, I had long hair down to my ass. It was leftover from my hood days, and there ain't nothing wrong with that. In fact, one of the top level scientists I worked with, who practically wrote the book on some of the work I do, took me under his wing. And he had long hair, but he was Japanese, and he used to compliment me on my hair. But at some point, I cut it because I felt like, I was already being judged, and I was, and that's fine. Like, a lot of people be like, oh, well, I should be able to be who I am and not be judged. Well, you know what? You get fucking judged every day. And, the reality is if you want to go somewhere in life, you have to conform to some level. Like, you have to. It's just the way it fucking is. So, I cut my hair and, got more of a clean cut look, and, just kept moving. And, and then when I got finally finished my Bachelor of Science in Bioinformatics, a lot of more doors even opened up after that. But what's funny is the job I had at one of the biggest biotech companies there is, I won't even say the name, but I had actually beat out people with masters and bachelors, and all I had was my AA in general ed at that point, liberal arts, whatever. And I was working towards my BS. And usually a BS is a requirement, a BS plus experience. And it's even better if you have a master's. But, I actually beat out people like that because of my work ethic and because my references and because of all the hard work I'd already put in. So once I got that piece of paper, that just cemented, my foundation and gave me more of a platform to move up. And I just did that. Like every job was a rung on the ladder. And now I'm at the principal level, which is the highest you can go for a scientist, an individual contributor. I've managed people. I've managed teams of scientists. I've hired teams of scientists. I've done all that. But right now, I'm kind of just doing my own thing. But it's pretty fucking remarkable for some kid that was born and raised in the Bay Area. I was born in Hayward, California, and I was raised around that area, Hayward, San Leandro, so on, in the East Bay, what we call East Bay out here. And I grew up poor as fuck, and I saw some sides of life that a lot of people don't see. And so to go that far and make it out, that's how we look at it. When you're from that, it's like, some of us make it out, and but I go back. Like, I have friends there. I'm always around there. Like, half the jobs I have are around that area. So I'm out there, but it's just interesting to look back and see that, and know where I came from, and know that this kid that at one point, like, I thought I was gonna live past 16. I was into all kinds of shit, and like I'd seen all kinds of stuff happen around me, and I didn't know what the fuck I was gonna do. Like, so from going from that to that, like, it's a crazy experience. But the point of me sharing is that never ever fucking think you're counted out. Never ever think that you're at a disadvantage to where you can't succeed. That's the point, is that if you want to fucking succeed, you will. You will, but you have to want it. You have to fucking put in the work. There's no shortcuts in this life. Unless you're like independently wealthy and you come from old money. Like, there's no fucking shortcuts. You gotta fucking work your ass off. You might get breaks here and there that help you level up, but you're not gonna get to where you want without putting in the fucking work. And that's just the reality. And I'm a perfect example of, of that. Is that if you put in the fucking work, you'll get what you want in the end. It might not be on the timing you want, but you'll get it as long as you stay determined and obsessed. And that's the point. Thank you.